Okay, so I wanted to hop on and talk about um, listening to your hunger. And I feel like this is a topic that I talk with clients a lot, and you'll probably hear me talk about it a lot on here. Um, but I feel like it's just something that has to be reiterated over and over and over again. And it's not so simple. I think that we oftentimes think of, well, it's easy, my stomach is growling, or I feel shaky, so I'm hungry and I need to eat. There is always this doubt that comes up because of our constant diet culture society telling us that no, you should only eat at meal times. Maybe you should skip this meal. Maybe you shouldn't have a snack, even though we notice in our bodies that we're hungry. So I wanted to talk about today, because me particularly today felt really hungry. I started eating my lunch at 10, I think it was 10 o'clock. Yes. And I was like, oh crap, like I didn't bring anything else for lunch, but I was hungry at 10 o'clock. And so I ate my lunch at 10, and then by 2 o'clock I was hungry, and I was like, well, okay, now I have to go get food. So it was just kind of annoying, but at the same time, it was like, I need to listen to my body. I am actually really hungry. And let me talk you through the process of what my brain went through when I realized that I was hungry at 10 a.m. A lot of us would say, nope, I ate breakfast. I'm not hungry. I can't eat until 12 o'clock or whenever my lunch break is, or whenever I've designated lunch to be. There might be multiple things going through your head, like, why is my body hungry? It must be me. It must be my fault. It's not, I can't listen to my body right now. That's basically the thoughts that come up, is I cannot listen to my body. I need to adhere to the same schedule that I've had every other day, and I shouldn't have lunch now. Okay, so what comes up in my head instead is, first of all, rational thinking. Let's use some facts to determine why I might be hungry at this time. It's not a question of questioning my body and questioning whether I actually am feeling hunger signals. That would be the second step. The first step is, why am I feeling hungry right now? Because I'm very curious. I always want to learn from my mistakes, or just learn from a unique day. So rational thinking comes in. That would be fact-based, no judgments involved. We can say, what did I eat for breakfast? Let's use some facts. What did I have for breakfast? Okay, I had a smoothie, and I put some cereal in it. It had Greek yogurt, it had acai, it had pineapple, and it had cereal. So, I got my protein, I got my carbs, I got some fruit in there. Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't get any fat in that necessarily. I didn't get a lot of fat in that meal. And thinking back on it, it probably wasn't calorically enough for what I tend to usually get for breakfast and what I tend to need for breakfast. So I'm using some facts to notice. I know it may sound like there's some judgment in there. It wasn't enough, but we can use facts to determine that. What, based on previous experience, based on me, my knowledge as a dietitian, was it enough, calorically speaking, or balanced-wise? Did that have protein? Did it have carbs? Did it have fats? Did it have some fruits or vegetables? Not to say that all of our meals always have to have those things, but it can be, we can run through this checklist in order to determine and use some facts to know why might I be hungry right now at 10 a.m. when I had breakfast. So we use those facts, and for you guys, it would be really helpful to bounce some of those facts off of me if I am your dietitian or your coach, or your own dietitian, to bounce some of those ideas. Oh yeah, okay, what did I have for breakfast? Why was I so hungry that day that we're talking about? So bounce it off your dietitian, and then we're gonna, as your dietitian, I would help build your own knowledge and sense of confidence to verify those facts. Because oftentimes when we're working with disordered eating or a consistent habit of eating a small breakfast, you might run back through those facts on your own and say, oh yeah, that was enough. That was enough. I got all the balance I need. I didn't need any fat in that meal, and I didn't need any carbs in that meal because I had my fruit. So sometimes we can get disordered eating or just under eating habits get in the way of these facts and convince us that we had enough when we really didn't. So that's my first thing, is let's use some rational thinking to understand why we might feel hungry earlier than usual. Number 2 is body respect and trust. So this is where understanding and being attuned to your hunger cues is really important. So we can first use some facts to identify what is hunger. What does it feel like in my body? We can identify, run through some of those symptoms head to toe, starting to think about food. I was thinking about food at 10 a.m. I was actually physically hungry. My stomach felt empty. So just certain things, I wasn't quite to the point of feeling shaky, but I was definitely like looking at my peanut butter and jelly and really wanting to eat it. And it felt good when I did. There's also somewhat, maybe I'm getting a little off track, but somewhat of experimentation. Like this is body respect and body trust, and we can do some experimentation in order to honor some of those feelings, and you can have a bite or have a few bites or have, I had a couple things sitting on my desk, so having a few bites of something to start, or having the snack first and just seeing how it feels. So experimentation can be really helpful in giving yourself, your body, that respect, honoring the feelings of hunger that you might be having, and not questioning them, not denying them. So that was a little tangent, but that's part of that body trust and body respect. And we want to make sure that we're developing that the knowledge of what is your hunger or fullness feel like. So that, again, head to toe. Are you starting to think about food? Does food smell really good? Does it taste really good right now? Are you actually being mindful of it, and how is the taste? What else? We're moving to the stomach, which is frequent what most people think of. So are you feeling empty stomach, or even some minor growling? Do you feel shaky? Are you starting to get a headache? Some of those things can signify either moderate hunger to extreme hunger. So we want to be aware of what signs and symptoms of hunger are, and then respecting it and honoring it. And I think a part of it is I trust my body to tell me when it's hungry, and I respect my body to honor that hunger and satisfaction. And then the third one, after that body respect and trust, is understanding also what else might be going on in your environment, in your body, hormonally, stress-wise too. So if we can think of, are you seeking some enjoyment or some distraction from what you're currently doing? For me, I noticed that I wasn't. I had finished a session. I could have continued doing my work, but I really was hungry. Wasn't seeking a distraction. I wasn't feeling overly stressed. I wasn't trying to procrastinate. I wasn't seeking pleasure in the form of food. And none of those are wrong either. That's okay. It's okay to eat, if you determine that you are seeking pleasure and you want something else to do, or maybe I can eat while I'm doing something. Sometimes people choose to do that. So we don't always have to be 100% mindful, but it is a part of this process. I do encourage learning this process to be overtly mindful and try not to eat distractedly. So that third part is what else is going on. So hormone-wise, I also, that's another thing that goes through my mind is, okay, hormonally, where am I at in my cycle? Is there, I tend to notice certain times in my cycle when I do get extra hungry, tending towards that, end of the cycle PMS. So where am I at in my cycle? Is that causing me extra hunger? Or what did I do yesterday or even this morning, physical activity wise, to make me hungrier? So all of those things we can kind of look back on and notice, yes, I notice a pattern. Sometimes you won't know if those things are affecting you until you ask yourself. And you continue to ask yourself over time. So you can't know if you've never been tracking your cycle and the way your hormones affect your hunger. You can't know automatically asking that question the first time to know at what time in your cycle you do feel hungry or crave more carbs or anything like that. So it is that consistent inquiry over time that is really important. It is, learning your hormones or learning. I have a lot of clients who tend to notice after activity in the morning or activity that day, they actually have dampened hunger. So they're not feeling as hungry, even though their body actually needs more food that day. But the next day, the following day after the activity, they feel extra hungry, and that's because their body did not get enough on that day. So I do encourage that reflection of what did I do this morning or what did I do yesterday in terms of activity? And then it goes back to that rational thinking. Did I get enough? Did I refuel my body? Did I get enough in general? And that is for your dietitian to help solidify and confirm, to build that sense of confidence for yourself. But that's also for us to help you build that, sense of confidence, so that you can determine that for yourself. So it's not always, me calculating your calories and telling you how much you burned. That, in fact, I would rarely do that, but sometimes it's helpful. But I think that's more about building your own sense of confidence. Is, did I eat enough based on what I know, what I've learned from my dietitian? I did not eat enough to refuel my body for my activity levels, and that is why I'm hungry today. So if we go through that for my scenario, again, going back through rational thinking, what did I eat earlier on in the day? Was it enough? Probably not. That tends to be probably why I was extra hungry at 10 a.m., which is pretty a rare occurrence for me. Noticing, my balance of my meal, calorie-wise or energy-wise, if we can move away from calories, but just think adequacy, obviously just thinking I felt hungry. That means I probably did not get enough energy, or I did not get enough of a certain macronutrient. Moving on to checking with my hunger. Okay, I'm really good at doing that. I've been doing that consistently over time, and I help my clients to check in with that now too. Is, yes, I noticed I was hungry. I know that I can trust my body. All of us can. It just takes some practice over time. I can trust my body to tell me when I'm hungry, and I respect my body enough, respect my body, a lot, to honor that hunger and nourish my body. And then also noticing when I'm seeking food as a form of distraction or some enjoyment, seeking pleasure, trying to de-stress, just noticing what else is going on in my body, hormone-wise, energy-wise, all of those things. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you do have any questions on that, and definitely, send me a message if you're interested in working with me to help develop some of those skills in order to really listen to your body and understand why you might be feeling hungry or even overeating or consistently undereating, and not feeling those hunger cues. Thank you.